Hi, this is Zak Mir with the US Chartbreakers here at Zak's Traders Cafe for Tuesday, the 28th of October. Starting off with the S&P, which seems to be gapping up or wanting to gap up towards the top of the channel there, heading for 7,000 on the resistance line there from back in April. The call here was that we would get to 7,000 by the end of next month, but the way the market's going, which actually seems to be trying to get to 7,000 by the end of this month. You can see we've had a couple of gaps to the upside, which is incredible given that we are so high. But at the moment, at least while we're on the right side of 6,800, or actually to be more precise, 6,807, the Friday resistance, then we are looking for 7,000 in the next week or two, the way things are going. Moving along to the situation at the Nasdaq, which might give us a bit more color on how strong the market really is. So here you can see that we've actually headed up to the top of that channel there from the end of March, beginning of April. So basically hit the zone there, actually 25,900. So we're just slightly short of that, but effectively on that price channel top, end of day close through 25,900. We're looking at that late January resistance line projection at 26,500 as an end of November target for this market. You can see the RSI 50 plus rebounds have done the trick in terms of causing an acceleration to the upside. So the market seems to be quite excited about what might happen. Presumably, US China tariffs may be in the mix there in terms of expectation. One of the interesting things is that, in terms of this video, is that maybe the viewing figures are not quite as on an international scale as they could be. But what's interesting is that when there's a rising trend channel base, and we've got the top of the channel there at around $1, and then the stock goes straight through that target, does sort of suggest that the charting is working. But at least the initial target there, $1, has been overshot. And while we're above that, looking for up to $1.80 by the end of next month, which is the upper parallel of that rising trend channel base from back in February. Next on the list is DICOM, and here you can see that we've got a situation where the market has managed to push through towards the top of that rising trend channel base there, $31 plus, 31.50, let's say the nominal level there. What's interesting here is we've managed to gap back above the old gap top there from January, around $22.40, and above that we're looking for the top of the channel. If we break down back below that old gap top, then the situation becomes rather more complex. But at the moment, let's just go with that as the potential setup here for this market. It's also a bear trap island reversal, so gapping down in January, and then in fact gapping down again in June, and then finally gapping up this month. Another stock to look at the moment is coming up, and here you can see that we've got Digi Power, which has managed to break its initial target there at the top of that rising trend channel base. That was nominally around the $5 level. Above that, we're looking for the upper parallel of that rising trend channel. A May resistance line projection as high as $7.50 by the end of next month. But the ideal scenario is here that we stay on the right side of $5. Unusual one coming up next, David Davis Commodities, and here after a couple of false dawns, we're heading for the top of that channel there as high as $2.15. Like to see the shares on the right side of recent broken resistance, normally around the $1.40 level, the average of the recent peaks, but above that looking for $2 plus by the end of next month. On to GSI, and here it looks like we've got a mid-move consolidation after the spike higher that we had. I suppose the top of the channel there, just slightly more accurately drawn as I've drawn it there. So heading, but still heading for the $20 level, and we're looking for $20 at least while we're on the right side of $10, which was yesterday's support zone, or just near to yesterday's support zone, and the support of recent days. If we're really lucky, I suppose we'd stay on the right side of $11, but that may be pushing it, even though the RSI profile there with all the RSI 50 plus rebounds does suggest this is a very strong situation, and strong enough for the shares to withstand any pullback, or at least $1 pullback at maximum. Now we're going on to a new situation, which is hopefully one which will have legs as well. So we've got Semler, and here falling trend channel base, but gapping up, bear trap reversal, and also a bear trap island reversal because we gapped down on the 14th, and then gapped up just now, gapped down on the 13th, I suppose, really. But what you can see here is that we were above the 50-day line there at $28, $28.66, and above that, looking at least the 200-day moving average at $37 by the end of next month. Best case would be up to 45, but at the moment that might be pushing it, even though we've got a good setup there with that bear trap island reversal. Stock which we've looked at quite a lot recently, and which continues to be quite intriguing, is coming up next, VisionWave. Here you can see that it's holding our initial target there, initial quite optimistic target there, around $1.80. And above that on an end-of-day close basis, we're not only looking for a retest of recent resistance towards $2.50, but actually much more. Potential here maybe up to $4 to $6 over the next month or so, but obviously we've got to break that 250 line or 250 level before we can assume further upside. Finishing off with Zenas Biopharma, and here we've had a nice breakout through the initial October resistance, which was at around the $30 mark. In fact, the $29 mark, and what you can see now is that the $30 mark rather, and here you can see that, and while we're above that $30 level, looking for up to $50 by the end of next month, and obviously recent resistance, which was around the $28 to $29 broken with that move that we had higher yesterday. Also interesting is the way that the RSI has basically remained above the neutral 50 level since the beginning of July. Many support points towards that neutral 50 level, which tends to be a very good sign of momentum. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.